Welcome everybody. Today's recipe is a recipe request. This is from Byron Chandler. Thank you, Byron, for requesting this. Byron's one of my fans that is almost always the first to comment on my videos, and I do appreciate that, so thank you for that. This recipe today is gluten-free peach cobbler. Now, of course, you could make it regular if you like, but Byron asked for gluten-free, so that's what we're doing. And our peaches are frozen, but that's okay because they're not really in season right now. But we're seasoning them up with some nice cinnamon and lemon and just really making it very flavorful. So I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm going to show you how to do it right after this. Let's go over our ingredients. Now I'm going to break this down into two parts. I'm going to show you the ingredients for the peach part, all the spices and things we're going to put in there. So starting off with that, we have our frozen peaches because, like I said, peaches aren't in season here in California right now. And I'm letting these thaw out. We'll need some cinnamon, plenty of cinnamon. I have some grass-fed butter, brown sugar, arrowroot. Now I like to use arrowroot as opposed to cornstarch, which you could use instead, but I like arrowroot better because it's non-GMO. We'll need some lemon juice and the zest from the lemon, as well as some vanilla extract. And now for our cobbler. Now, do you know what the difference is between a cobbler and, say, a crisp or a crumble? Well, the cobbler, which we're making today, is more cake or biscuit-like on top of your peaches. And the crisps and crumbles are made with oatmeal and sometimes nuts. And so it's a little bit different. It's a little more crumbly, and we just kind of, crumble it on top. So here's our ingredients. We're going to be using Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 gluten-free baking flour. We'll need some brown sugar, baking powder, cinnamon, and some salt, because you definitely got to have some salt in there. And we'll need some almond milk, or you can use regular milk if you like. Start off by preheating your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to mix our peach mixture filling first. Okay, so let your peaches sit out for a good hour until they thaw out. Now, if you get an excessive amount of liquid in there from the thawing, go ahead and drain some of that off. Now, I don't have a lot here, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. And what is going to create the liquid in your recipe is, of course, the sugar that we add to it. And then to thicken it up is the arrowroot. So that'll, give a little bit of thickness to it, so it's not like water. Now I've also melted my butter in the microwave because we're going to be pouring that in the bottom of an 8x8 baking dish. Okay, so to our peaches we're going to add the brown sugar, and I'm just sprinkling everything in. The cinnamon. I'm going to zest the lemon and put that in. You always want to zest first before you squeeze the lemon. It's just way easier to do it that way. Never go too deep into the lemon because it's bitter when you get into the white part. So one swipe, at least with my Microplane here, does the job. And then I'm going to squeeze about a teaspoon of lemon juice in here. About a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Last is the arrowroot. We'll just sprinkle that in and we'll stir everything up. Then we're going to pour the peach mixture into the baking dish on top of the butter. And you want to spread it out so it's nice and even. Now we're ready to do the cobbler. So we're going to take our flour, and to that we're going to add the brown sugar. Just sprinkle it in. It's very simple. Making the cobbler is just as easy as making that. This recipe is super simple. Toss in the cinnamon and the salt. Salt brings out a little flavor. You always have to have a little salt in this. And the baking powder is really essential because that makes it rise and be very cake-like. So I'm going to combine these dry ingredients first before I add the almond milk. Now I'm going to add the almond milk, and I'm not going to add all of this. I'm going to add most of it though, but I don't want it to get too runny. I'll show you the consistency we're looking for here. And you don't want to overstir this either, so we're just going to mix it to combine. And this is the consistency right here that I'm looking for. So make sure all the dry ingredients are now wet before we put it on. which I think we are. And we'll just pour that on. And I just kind of spoon it on and just spread it across. It should cover the whole dish. Now, like I said, this is going in the oven, 375 degrees. We're going to check it and look at it at 30 minutes and see where we're at. The ovens vary, so we're looking for a nice golden brown, puffy top. While our peach cobbler is baking in the oven, now would be a great time if you want to subscribe to my channel. Go down and click that subscribe button and click the bell next to it and you'll be notified when new videos come out every week. I took the cobbler out at about 33 minutes. It's a beautiful golden brown, it's bubbling all over the place, and now we're going to let it cool off before we cut into it. I like to have a little a la mode with my peach or any kind of cobbler, really. That's really delicious. I love it coming out of the oven, right? You can't beat it with a little vanilla ice cream on top. Super good. The peaches have, I like cinnamon, so it has a nice cinnamony taste to it. And the citrus, you know, the zest from the lemon is just nice. It's just a nice subtle hint right at the end. And then the topping, of course, is very soft and warm and just delicious with that cinnamon hint as well. So I think you guys are gonna like this. That's our recipe for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Byron, for requesting it. I do appreciate it. And if you have a request for me, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if you have any questions too, right down there. I'm always watching. So thank you again for watching my video. I do appreciate it. If you want to subscribe to my channel, click that subscribe button. We'd love to have you. And also click that bell next to the subscribe button, and that'll notify you every week when new videos come out. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.